Good morning, good evening, and good night. Whatever time of the day you are watching, I hope it is a good one. Today we have a very special video for you guys, and that's because all you get is me. So like I said, I mean it. Very special video today. And that is also because we are going to do a little bit of story time today. So it never fails to go wrong that when people wonder what is the most interesting thing that I have done on my short time here on Earth so far, they always seem to gravitate the most towards the fact that I, Jonathan Barnes, was in the NBA for over 10 years. That's right. You ain't gotta check Google. You don't have to go look at the stat books. You don't have to go look at the record books. Take my word for it. I was in the NBA for 10 plus years. Actually, it was 11 years. And no, I wasn't a player. If I was a player, I would have a much bigger house, a much more elaborate car. I'd probably have 5 Frenchies, not just one. But I was a ball boy for the New Orleans Hornets / now New Orleans Pelicans. Seriously, talk about hitting the jackpot. The Hornets, they were the Hornets at the time, were my favorite NBA team. You know, I was so excited when the team relocated down here to New Orleans. And here it was about, I guess, 8 years into their tenure down here. And I was an actual employee for the team and not just, an office employee or somebody who does stuff away from the team. I was literally with the team every game night. So basically, look, 11 years in the NBA as a ball boy. Some people call it water boy, some people call it mop boy, some people call it locker room attendant. I like to call it locker room attendant, you know. I'm a grown-ass man, I ain't no boy. But obviously, 11 years in the NBA working for an NBA franchise, you get a lot of timeless memories and a lot of stories, things that I'll be able to tell my kids one day. But I don't have any kids right now, so why not tell you guys, the Jonathan Barnes community of 250 subscribers, and only 50 of them are probably active. But still, man, it's just like too many stories I have to not share with the world, man. And these are good stories, you know. These are stories that really bring out, I think, the human side of the great NBA players that I've been able to work with. So 11 years, right? 11 years as a ball boy for the Pelicans. I have worked with every NBA player that you can probably think of within the past, 10 to 15 years of this current era. So I'm talking about everybody from Chris Paul, Anthony Davis, Zion Williamson. That's just on our side of things, Also have LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, James Harden. Can I keep going? I don't want to be name dropping and stuff. Dirk Nowitzki, Dwayne Wade, Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Embiid, Giannis, Shaquille O'Neal, the legend himself, Kobe Bryant. Like I said, every player you can think of, I've probably been able to interact with and work with. And today I guess we'll start with my first day on the job, because who doesn't have a story about their first day on the job? Only this time mine was working with an actual NBA team, the team that I had cheered for previously for my whole childhood. Here I am working with players whose posters were on my wall, whose jerseys I was wearing, whose autograph just a year ago I was trying to get, and now I am literally a co-worker of theirs. So how I got on with the Hornets is, it's kind of, you gotta be really lucky, like God was looking down on me, I guess. My best friend was able to become a ball boy a year prior to me joining the team, because somebody that he knew was a ball boy. And it's kind of like one of those things where you have to know somebody, and if you happen to get lucky, the friend might say, hey, you want to become a ball boy? We need some help. And then he gets picked, and then maybe the next year that ball boy says, hey, I have a friend who wants to be a ball boy. So that's kind of how it happened. My best friend was a ball boy for the team when they came back to New Orleans after the hurricane in 2007 and 2008. And all year I was begging them, man, I gotta get on. Please let me get on. Please let me get on. Please ask your boss to let me become a ball boy. And I didn't get to be one, but I did get to go to basically every game that year. I basically had season tickets without having season tickets. Until the next year, my best friend called me and he said, Jono, I've got some good news for you. We have some spots available for ball boy positions, and I'm going to tell my boss, can you join the team? Oh man, I was so happy. I almost cried, but I didn't. Because real thugs don't cry. I did do a happy dance though. I was like, I'm lame, I know. Alright, so I was going to a Monday Night Football game, go see the Saints, at that time probably lose, the way we were playing around that time. And the New Orleans Hornets / Pelicans equipment manager, Big Shot, the greatest equipment manager in the NBA. He called me right as I was walking to the Superdome. He was like, Jono, I heard your friend recommended you for this job. Let me tell you some of the details about the job. And I mean, he was telling me all the stuff, you know, all the formalities of it, as if, you know, like he had to sell me on the job. I was like, in my head, I was like, man, you ain't got to tell me nothing. Tell me what time and when and where to be, and I will be there. So just like that, I was a ball boy for the New Orleans Hornets. I was a ball boy for my favorite team. I was literally now working in the NBA. The guy who always got picked last when playing basketball as a kid was now in the NBA. Shows you how life can come full circle, huh? Boy, that's like this circle. So there's no like real orientation. It's not like we have ball boy games or something like where we're doing like competitions or we're doing like exercises to fit up the water, sweep the court, catch the rebounds and things like that. Now it's kind of you get thrown to the fire type of thing. So the preseason game was my first game as an employee of the New Orleans Pelicans and my first day in the NBA. So I get there the first day. Now, you know, I'm nervous as hell, but I'm trying to be cool, you know. I'm also like really geeked out, but I'm an employee now. I'm not necessarily a fan anymore. I'm still a fan, but I'm not a fan when I'm working for the team. I have to be professional. So I'm trying to keep my cool. I'm trying to be all professional. You know, I walk into the building, you know, straight stone poker face, you know, like none of this is phasing me. I'm Jono Barnes, you know, like who cares if I get to work for the NBA? So I get there, I actually meet Big Shot for the first time face to face at the preseason game. He brings me to the locker room. Now, mind you, I am a sports NBA Pelicans fan, Hornets at the time, geek, and I am literally just like walking to the locker room. And as soon as you walk in, you see all the players that you be cheering for, all these players that you love and adore so much, and here they are, just, you know, getting in the groove, getting ready to play their preseason game, and I am literally in the middle of it, like so fast, like I didn't even have a chance to like exhale. I'm like, holy sh! In my mind, I am in the New Orleans Hornets locker room. What the? Me? Jono Barnes? So Big Shot gives me a rundown of everything again. He kind of tells me to shadow my best friend. To just see what he does so I can kind of pick up on the things and, you know, learn by experience. Gets me in my uniform and then whoosh, went straight to the court. And great funny timing, I guess, because my favorite player obviously at the time was Chris Paul, who was the point guard for the New Orleans Hornets. One of the greatest point guards of all time. Honestly, I might think he is the greatest point guard of all time. I mean, look what he's doing now to this day, how he elevates teams, that competitive hunger that he has, you know. I'm such a huge CP3 fan. And so I'm walking to the court, and the first player who is out there warming up that I have to now go rebound for my first day on the job is Chris Paul. So, you know, I walk on the court, again, nothing's phasing me, you know, like, yeah, whatever. Chris Paul is warming up. He's also warming up with our backup point guard at the time, Mike James. So they getting their shots up or whatever, you know, and I'm just like, you know, a geek, like looking at the arena, like, holy moly, I'm standing on the NBA court and I'm about to go rebound for Chris Paul. It was crazy. Again, though, professional, so I'm playing it cool. So, you know, all right, so I go to under the basketball goal to, you know, catch the balls as Chris Paul and Mike James are making their shots, and I'm trying my best to just maintain my composure. And now at this point, it's not about, you know, holding back any emotions of not wanting to be a geek or anything. They're like, oh my God, Chris Paul, I love you so much. It was more about, don't do anything stupid, Jono. Don't do anything stupid. I don't want to get hired and fired on my first day, you know. I guess that would be like the equivalent of a bus, like the biggest ball boy bus. Jono Barnes had so much hype coming into the league, but on his first day, the team realized that he just wasn't good enough to make it in the pros. Tragic. So in my mind, I'm like, don't screw up, Jonathan. Don't screw up. Don't do anything stupid. So, all right, catching the balls, passing it. Catching the balls, passing it. In my mind, I'm like, holy crap, I am passing a ball to Chris Paul. You know, Chris Paul's just like locked in. Even though it's a preseason game, he's still locked in, like, probably doesn't even recognize me, doesn't even realize there's a new kid in town. Though at one point, I think he did, because like, he was probably looking like, who the hell is this light-skinned guy? And I had like real long hair at the time, like young Michael Jackson, El DeBarge. So I was pretty, I stood out, you know, I stood out a little bit. So I'm sure he was like, the hell, or whatever. Back to his workout. So I'm getting in the groove, you know, I'm like, whoosh, like, all right, this is easy. Yeah, I can do this, you know. I may not be the greatest on the court as a player, but I can pass the ball, you know. So I'm passing the balls, and I'm getting like into it too. I'm like, man, I'm trying to match the intensity of Chris Paul. So I'm like, I catch one ball, and like I say, I'm in the zone, man. Whoosh, I hum it. If I ever had any shot at being a pitcher in a Major League Baseball and they needed tape on me throwing, that's the film I would send. It's that pass that I threw. I hummed that ball. So whoosh, bang, passed the ball real hard. And I ended up hitting Mike James. Yeah, my first day on the job, and I throw a fastball at the shoulder/head area of our backup point guard. Great start, Jono, great start. So now I'm freaked out. I'm like, oh boy, because like, I mean, I hit him, like, you can't not ignore it, like, the ball, poof, I hit him. Mike and Chris just kind of stopped, and Mike just like, this, just hum a basketball at me? And he's like looking at me, and I don't know what to do. I mean, obviously the thing you do is, sorry, I'm my bad pass, I'll do better. That's the normal thing to do, right? That's what any logical person would do. Not me. I did this. Let me get the other basketball and pass it to Chris softly. And just kind of like try to avoid eye contact with this player who I just hit. And Mike James just staring at me. It went from like a what the hell stare to a death stare. Like, okay, is this guy not going to say anything? Is he just going to ignore the fact that he just threw a basketball at about 90 miles per hour at me? So I'm not talking, I'm not saying anything. I'm like, maybe he'll ignore it if nobody mentions it. And then Mike says verbatim, so excuse the language, but he says, "You a mute, motherfucker?" And I couldn't help but laugh. I was like, no. I was like, no, sir. But then I started like, you know, laughing like, what the hell, Jonathan? Calm down. Like, you know, you're overthinking it. You are really overthinking it. And luckily for my sake, Mike starts laughing too. Chris starts laughing. I think they both kind of got the gist that, okay, this guy is obviously kind of nervous out of his mind. So they didn't give me too much of a hard time. Thankfully, Mike didn't go back and say, you need to fire this kid or whatever. He just kind of had a laugh about it. And in a weird way, that actually broke me out of my shell and got me real comfortable with the players. And I was like, okay, if I can mess up and laugh it off with our all-star point guard and our backup point guard, you know, I can exhale and I can do this job. You know, like these guys are obviously the greatest basketball players, the greatest athletes in the world, but they're humans just like me. So there's nothing to overthink, Jonathan. Just be yourself, man. Be personable, be professional, obviously, but don't overthink it and don't try too hard because that's when you do mess up. But I think about that often because that could have been really tragic. Like, what if I like hit him in the nose or the eyes or something and like, you know, he's down for the game. Like, that would have been bad. Can you imagine like the front page of the sports section? Ballboy takes out Hornets backup point guard before a game. So yeah, my first game in the NBA, I almost took out Mike James. But thank God, Mike was cool about it. Chris had a good laugh about it. After they got their shots up or whatever, they both came up, introduced themselves to me. I was like, yeah, nice to meet you. In my head, I'm like, Chris Paul, I think you're the greatest player of all time. Please take a picture with me one day. Actually, I do have a picture of Chris Paul. I can splice it in right now. And that day started off my 11-year journey in the NBA and working for the New Orleans Pelicans. And during that time, I got to become real close with the player who was my favorite player. And now I was like, I don't want to say best friends or anything, but I was a genuine friend slash, you know, co-worker, associate of his, and that's Chris Paul. And I have definitely some great memories with him, as well as a lot of other players as well. We had David West on the team at the time. David West is awesome. We had Tyson Chandler, Peja Stojakovic. We had some good talent on that team, and they were all just great guys. All made me feel really, you know, like I belonged with the team. And that is just something that you cannot put a price on. That just gives you so much peace of mind. Like, you know, you feel like you're just an everyday Joe compared to these world-class athletes and superheroes in the eyes of many fans, and they treat you like you're just one of them. You know, it was awesome, man. It was kind of, that day, I guess, like that mistake kind of was a microcosm of how it would be working 11 years in the NBA and how these players, you know, treat you as if you're a teammate. They treat you as if, you know, you're a friend. They treat you like you're one of them. And they've just made the job so much easy and so comfortable. And I mean, by mid-season, I felt like I was in my groove. And obviously, I had a pretty great career because I did it for 11 years. Which makes me wonder, do they have like a Ballboy Hall of Fame or something? I think I should be inducted, you know. I think that should be rafters. Not in the arena, but maybe like in the basement of the arena or in the backstage area. But they can have like the mops that one of the ball boys used or whatever. They'll have like a golden drum with my name on it. Jonathan Barnes, 2008 to 2020. So that's my story time for today, guys. Big shout out to you all for watching. Big shout out to New Orleans Pelicans for being the greatest organization in the world. I'm biased, I know. A big thank you to Mike James for not killing me when I hit him with the basketball. And the funny thing is, Mike James, Chris Paul, I mean, they're probably not gonna even remember this, but for somebody like me, like just a regular old everyday Joe, a memory like that lasts a lifetime, man. That was definitely something that was scary at the time, but I look back and laugh and say, man, what a fun and crazy start to my 11-year tenure in the NBA. So look, I'll show you guys something. Bam! I'm not a Bucks fan. This ain't Tampa Bay. New Orleans Bucks. We actually wore our New Orleans Buccaneers uniforms for a throwback night 1 year during my tenure with the Pelicans. And of course, this isn't like Chris Paul's game worn jersey or anything. This was just a jersey that I bought because I was still a fan even though I was an employee. And as you can see, I definitely wanted to represent my guy. And I don't even know if there's like many people who still have this jersey or even bought this jersey. But this is one of the cool little keepsakes that I have from my time with the team. And I guess I'll maybe also do a little bit of a keepsake at the end of each story. So this is, you can get it, my beauty of YouTube, the beauty of live recording. My Chris Paul poster, autographed by the man, the myth, the legend himself, Chris Paul. I don't know if y'all can see that. There you go. Y'all see my little all-star chair here from the 2017 game. This was actually the chairs that they used during the game. I don't know who sat in which chair or who sat in this chair, but I was just lying to people. Oh yeah, LeBron sat in this one, Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, all those guys. Everybody sat in this chair. And now the most famous person, John Barnes. Truly, I hope you guys enjoyed that story. It was a fun story for me. Hopefully, it was for you. Leave a comment below if you enjoyed the story. Leave a comment below if you would like me to tell more stories. I have some good stories, fun stories, just fun, innocent, silly stories. And as always, do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Or not, I'm just a human that you probably find a lot more interesting now that you know that I was in the NBA for 11 years, but I'm not the law.